Jamie Kelsey, thank you for letting me hit you up for this Libby Life exclusive question. So, how do you decide what themes or lessons to incorporate into your middle grade and YA writing?
That's a great question. I I would say it's interesting. I kind of come at it two different ways. I think one of the ways is my inspiration tends to come from my kids who I have twins that are about to turn 11. So they are right there in the thick of it. And then I have a
Yeah,
13-year-old. So we are sitting in this space hardcore.
Yeah.
So I
for
see
sure.
what they're going through, and it's hard not to let that seep into my books because it's like, if mom could give a speech to my kids and help them through it in some way that isn't an actual speech to my kids, then these are the kind
Yes,
of things I'd like want them to see and want them to see other people go through. Um, and I think the other way that I kind of back into storytelling is for me, character voice always comes first. I can hear the character's voice in my head so clearly. And for me, the voice and their attitude often kind of leads me to what is their struggle? What is their personality? If you're this kind of person, what tends to be the thing that's hardest for you?
Mm,
And that's kind of how I get to whatever the issue is. Because
yeah,
ultimately, the book isn't about the issue, it's about the person. And people come with lots of different issues, and how they work through it is what makes them interesting. Not what the issue is, but
absolutely.
how they get through it. And so that's kind of how
Absolutely.
I let it lead me.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. Kelsey, with your debut and then hearing in the episode proper that we're working on book two,
yeah.
how are you tackling right? Yes, hold it up. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm very proud. My my baby.
Right?
Yeah, I think with Voice of the Ocean, the story kind of like the concept came first
Hmm.
of a retelling of The Little Mermaid and kind of like what if this young girl or young character is actually a siren who is tasked with being in essentially a war, a silent war against humanity, and what happens when you see someone and start humanizing them, and like what is humanity. And I think in terms of like connecting with the audience, I think questioning things is such an interesting like part of becoming a young adult and like growing. And I remember like the first time a teacher told me like, you're supposed to question. You can question me. Like you can question the world around you. And I felt like that concept was so fascinating and so strange. I feel like when you're growing up and you're really young, you definitely get a lot of authority figures not wanting you to question them for
Yeah,
obvious reasons, safety reasons. But at a certain point of that bridge between being a child or a kid and being an adult, you have to start learning like when is it safe to question? When do I need to, seek authority or seek answers? And like at what point do I have to like come to terms with my own moral compass and where I stand? And that's kind of where the book began. It's kind of questioning and journey. And then in terms of, characterization, I wanted to make sure there was a book for the soft girls who love to cry because I was a soft girl who loved to cry. And I just, I love this idea of having a multitude of like found family characters that all give different ideas as to like what is it to be human and like how do you form new friendships and new bonds as you get older, as you go out into the world and have to experience things on your own that are hard and scary and just, that change your perspective.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you both have given the important reminder of like, we need to empower our kids at some point. Yeah, ask the question, learn the lesson, and start to recognize that we can say, oh, that isn't right, or oh, I wonder why this is the way it is, and should we look at it differently? So I think both of your perspectives really put people first, put voices first, put characters first. And I love that. Well, thank you both for sharing this little Libby Life exclusive with me.
Ooh,
You're
thanks for
so
having us.
welcome.
You can sample and borrow the books from today's episode in the Libby app, or if you're a librarian, find them for purchase in Overdrive Marketplace. Book Lounge by Libby is a proud Evergreen Podcast signature program. Explore more amazing shows at evergreenpodcasts.com. This podcast is produced and recorded by me, Joe Skelly, with editing by Andrew Alonzo. Our theme music is High Five by Rex Banner, used with permission. Book Lounge by Libby is presented by the Libby app. Learn more at libbylife.com/booklounge.